In our societies today, many marriage relationships are unstable. Increasingly, a lot of crises are being experienced in many married homes due to a number of reasons. Marriages are contracted not based on love, understanding, and compatibility, and a lot more.
To me, marriage has its own pillars or building blocks, such as love, care, endurance, truthfulness, trust, forgiveness, contentment, sympathy, respect, and for the wife, obedient to her husband. But nowadays it's not like that.
You are expected when you come together to live in peace, to live in happiness, to have joy, and also to have the gift of procreation, and also to live your lives until the end of time. But many people just take the issue of marriage casually, and once you don't attach that importance it deserves, then there's going to be a problem.
Our elders don't even know that themselves, but they respected each other. When they say you are going to marry that person, they even were even too shy to even go to their quarters or even just pass through their ways. But today, that modesty has gone.
Other marriages are not stable simply because the partners could not agree to a dialogue between themselves. However, each stands firm to his contradicting point. There are opinions as to who should be involved in a dialogue between married couple, with some strongly believe that third party should not be involved for the sake of privacy. Others believe that couples' biological parents may have tendency to take side and compound the problem.
This is my own view. They should solve their problems by themselves. And if they can't, then from there they will seek for counseling for parents' guidance. Don't involve your parents, because some parents will be selfish. They will look the other side, or they will back the other side.
There are some established marriage counseling centers privately, and I'm sure they came up to complement the efforts the malams, the clerics are doing through their sermons, through their preaching, to bring order for the couples to understand what marriage is all about. So it is important that once you are getting married, you have to have full understanding of what you are getting into.
Marriage there must be a wali, and a wali means a guardian. He even said that do not marry a woman that do not have someone that can tell her to stop, and she will stop ultimately. Uncles that are at least a little bigger than the father, someone who can listen to his voice, someone who can listen to what he said is really a command.
Here in Kano, Hisba Commission, among their many other schedules, resolves family-related cases on a daily basis.
That is why sometimes a case that should be tackled in 10 minutes at home extends beyond that, because the couple married without getting to know each other's attitude. I tend to blame the parents the more, because they do not give them proper training.
It is of the belief that respect for each other, understanding, readiness to accept weaknesses of each other should be among other virtues to consider since at the courtship level. As they begin to build their marital life also, couples need to remain together in the interest of their offsprings.
The Nigerian employment market is changing rapidly, with heavy reliance now on talents and skills. Some of the more prominent ones are bricklaying and tiling, especially with the boom in the building industry and modernization of same. Sadi Musa is a bricklayer engaged in the business of building. We caught him at site in the process of doing his business. He gave us a background on how he learned the skill and how he applies it.
I started this work 20 to 25 years ago. I started odd jobs where I met my mentor. He is late now. He took me under his wing, and I started as a laborer, where you mix cement and give bricklayer to lay blocks. I decided since I am earning from this occupation, I should learn it, so that as I am working for my boss, others will work for me also. I put my mind to it and learn the skills up to where I am today. We are still benefiting from it.
Another aspect in building is convenience and beautification of the properties. Tiling is one of such, and a specialized skill at that. Abubakar Adamu, a tiler, educates us on how he learned his skill and how he applies it.
We learn tiling work by having interest and putting our minds to it. While learning, there are challenges. Your boss will give you tasks. Some you like them, and some you didn't. One will do them if he wants to learn the occupation. Our choice was to learn the skills and not how much money you will make. I did not inherit the skills, but I liked the work and I wanted to learn. In the first place, you will be taught how to measure meters. If you learn that, you can be sent to measure meters anywhere. To measure tiles, if you measure 10 meters, you will make it 11 to 12 meters. Some tiles are not up to a meter. Also, some are already broken in the cutter. I have been up to 10 years in this profession. I mentored many.
Degrees are important, but so are skills and talents. They allow you to interpret and manifest what your education has taught you.
During an award night in 2021 Workers' Day in Kano, the then Governor Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje approved the increase in retirement age of teachers to 65 years. This he does in response to federal government gesture.
In Nigeria, people want more years, isn't it? You know why they ask for more years? Because life here is very difficult. If you can survive here, you can survive anywhere. I don't blame them. The thing I pray for is hope that by the time they get to that years, they will still have the energy to work.
I'm not in support of that. I am of the opinion that it is better when you are 60 years of age, or you have reached 35 years in the service, you quit and allow the younger generation, to get the remaining opportunity.
Based on the experiences of some retirees in the state, there is every reason to experience fears of where and how to start after retirement.
You have to make a plan because you are venturing into a new life. Venturing into a new life in the sense that you are losing your previous position, previous status, and previous stand into a new one entirely.
So the implication is life will not be the same as when you are under employment. So it is going to be prepared for well before the time comes.
Issues such as I don't have capital, I don't have idea of any business, and lots more keep disturbing many people that are at the verge of retirement.
Because you see them going to offices, going to your houses, borrowing, asking for this, asking for help, this and that, because they have misused their retirement benefits.
There are instances of workers experiencing one problem or the other, of health or depression as a result of such situation.
Some will start looking for, a house to live. And because I retired probably as a director or as a palm sec, I have to, look for a house befitting to me. So they will end up, renting even the house. And when that rent expires, they have nowhere to go.
On the contrary, those workers that in one way or the other have alternative sources of income after salary might prefer retirement life than the work life.
There shouldn't be emphasis on, young men and women to go for government job. They are supposed to be encouraged, to get self-employed, get, what they can do so that eventually they too can become employers of labor.
Civil servants in Nigeria, they have to look what is happening or what is going to happen after the retirement. They have to plan. We have different sectors in the business. We have agriculture and we have fashion designs. We have a lot.
You start as civil servant on grade level, say 8 after your degree. That's where you start. Yeah. Now, gradually you will go to grade level 10, 12, up to 17. Or even if you are lucky, you go somewhere, they give you bigger position without any grade. Now, the higher you go, the hotter it becomes. The higher you go, the more responsibility you get, the more you think of your job, not of yourself or your family.
If you are a civil servant, my advice is that one should start preparing for his retirement immediately he joins the service.
Some believe that workers in Nigeria need to use their extra time to build a business, nurture it, to grow patiently towards a joyous retirement life.
Jama'a assalamu alaikum, barkanmu da shan ruwa ga cikakkun labaran tare da ni Murtala Abdullahi Hamza. Kiyaye tsaftar jiki da muhalli ciki har da wanke hannu akai-akai an bayyana su a matsayin muhimman matakai na daƙile yaduwar zazzabin lasa. Darakta Janar na Cibiyar Yaƙi da Cututtuka ta Jihar Kano, Farfesa Muhammad Adamu Abbas ne ya bayyana hakan a wata hira ta musamman da NTA, inda ya ce gwamnatin jihar Kano ta ƙara ƙaimi wajen sa ido da bibiyar cututtuka a faɗin jihar Kano. Aisha Ubali na da cigaban wannan rahoto.
Hukumar dakile cututtuka ta jihar Kano ta tabbatar da bullowar wasu sabbin cututtukan lasa a jihar bayan gudanar da binciken gano waɗanda suka yi mu'amala da masu cutar. An gano mutane 6 da aka killace domin kula da lafiyarsu. Abin takaici wato ma'aikaciyar jinya ta rasu sakamakon kamuwa da cutar. Haka kuma wani matashi mai shekaru 17 ya mutu bayan ya kamu da ita. Jami'an lafiya sun ce ana ci gaba da binciken gano duk waɗanda ke iya hulɗa da masu cutar domin a sa ido a kansu. Shugabar hukumar dakila cututtuka ta jihar Kano, Farfesa Muhammad Adamu Abbas, ya bayyana cewa cibiyar, wanda ita ce kadai cibiyar dakila cututtuka mallakin jiha a ƙasar nan, ta ƙara ƙaimi wajen wayar da kan jama'a tun bayan fara aikinta a bara. Ya jaddada cewa ma'aikatan lafiya da ke sahun gaba wajen kula da marasa lafiya su ne suka fi fuskantar haɗari, don haka ya zama wajibi su bi ƙa'idojin kariya da na aikinsu yadda ya kamata yayin gudanar da ayyukansu.
Muna kira ga asibitoci da Allah ma'aikatan lafiya su kula, su sa ido sosai idan aka ga wata cuta. Ita wannan cuta alamominta na kama da alamun zazzabin malaria ko kuma duk wata cuta mai kawo zazzabi.
A wani bangare kuma gwamnatin jiha ta ce tana ƙara himma wajen inganta tsarin tsaftar muhalli da tattara shara. Haka kuma an shawarci mazauna jiha da su ci gaba da kula da yadda suke zubar da shara tare da kiyaye tsaftar wajen sarrafa cututtuka da adana abinci domin rage yaduwar cututtuka tare da samar da lambobin waya na gaggawa. Hukumar dakile cututtuka ta jihar Kano na kira ga al'umma da su rika sanar da hukumar da wuri idan sun ga alamun cutar da ake zargi domin taimakawa wajen kare lafiyar jama'a. Aisha Uba Ali, labaran NTA.
Jam'iyyar APC a jihar Kano ta buƙaci mambobinta da magoya bayanta da su ƙara ƙarfafa haɗin kai tare da ƙoƙarin tattara jama'a a matakan ƙasa domin tunkarar babban zaɓe na shekara ta 2027. Da yake magana a taron manema labarai da aka gudanar a sakatariyar 'yan jaridu da ke nan Kano, Dr. Muhammad Musa Zango ya ce kiran ya biyo bayan nasarar zaben congresses na jam'iyyar da aka gudanar a nan jihar Kano. Masud Aliyu na da cigaban wannan rahoto.
Mambobin kwamitin zartarwa na jam'iyyar APC a jihar Kano murnar samun nasarar zaben su karkashin jagorancin Umar Haruna Doguwa, yana mai bayyana kwarin gwiwa cewa gogewarsu da jajircewarsu za su taimaka wajen ƙara ƙarfafa tsari da haɗin kan jam'iyyar a jihar.
To kun ga congress da aka yi ranar talata ga wata ya ba wa kowa dama da 'yanci, ba munamuna ba wahala, kowa ije ya yi zaben abin da yake so har Allah ya fito mana da shugabanni na kwarai dan zaɓin Allah ne na wannan jam'iyyar ta mai albarka a Kano.
Haka zalika ya yaba da irin shugabancin shugaban kasa Bola Ahmed Tinubu da kuma gwamnan jihar Kano Abba Kabir Yusuf, inda ya ce suna taka muhimmiyar rawa wajen bunƙasa tsarin demokradiyya da ci gaban ƙasa.
Wato cibiyoyinmu nan na harkar bangaren demokradiyya ana ƙara masu ƙarfi, saboda demokradiyya dinnan da tsaya da kafarta, kuma ainihin mutanen da suke fitowa su yi demokradiyya aikin nan su samu amfanin wannan aikin. Su waye waɗannan mutanen? Su ne grassroots.
Sannan ya buƙaci 'yan Najeriya su marawa manufofin gwamnatin tarayya baya, yana mai cewa gyare-gyaren da ake aiwatarwa na da nufin ƙarfafa tsaro, bunƙasa tattalin arziki da kuma samar da ci gaba mai ɗorewa duk da ƙalubalen da ake iya fuskanta na wani ɗan lokaci. Masud Aliyu, labaran NTA.
Baya ga samar da abinci ga marasa ƙarfi, shirin ciyarwa na Ramadan da gwamnatin jihar Kano ke gudanarwa yana kuma ƙarfafa harkokin tattalin arziki a cikin al'umma. Kwamitin sa ido na gwamna Abba Kabir Yusuf ya kafa ne ya bayyana haka yayin da yake duba wurare da masu dafa abinci ke gudanar da ayyukansu a sassa daban-daban na jihar Kano. Abdullahi Mustapha na da cigaban wannan rahoto.
Shirin ciyarwar watan azumin Ramadana na shekara ta 2026 wanda gwamna Abba Kabir Yusuf ya kaddamar na da nufin ciyar da mutane 115 a kowace rana cikin watan Ramadana. Fatima Suleiman na daga cikin masu samar da abincin su 19 da gwamnati ta baiwa aikin. Ta ɗauki masu taimaka mata akalla 10 domin samar da abinci 1000 a kowace rana. Haka kuma akwai manyan masu gidan abinci da kowanne ya ɗauki akalla ma'aikata 300 domin tallafawa aikinsu. Kowanne daga cikinsu na samar da abinci 25,000 a kowace rana. Don tabbatar da nasarar aikin, kwamitin duba yadda yake gudana wanda gwamna Abba Kabir Yusuf ya naɗa ya kewaya wasu daga cikin cibiyoyin don tantance aikin, musamman ma tsafta da kuma inganci da yawan abincin da ake samarwa.
Kamar yadda kuka gani tun da aiki ne yake mai yawa, to yana buƙatar wasu tsare-tsare. To mun yi duk wani tsari da za mu bi domin ganin aikin ya yi sauƙi, ya yi sauri, kuma an samu biyan buƙatar da ake so.
'Yan kwamitin sun bayyana gamsuwa da yadda ake gudanar da ayyukan, wanda suka ce ya kuma samar da ciniki ga masu sayar da ɗanyen abinci da sauran kayan girke-girke, wanda hakan ya bunƙasa tattalin arzikin jihar.
To Allah sa haka za mu yi har ƙarshen watan azumi ya ƙare ya gama lafiya, kuma ladan da Allah yake bayarwa na ciyarwa a wannan wata Allah ya sa mai girma gwamna yana ciki, muna ciki, kuma kuna ciki gaba ɗaya.
Fiye da naira miliyan 4,000 gwamnatin jihar Kano ta sanya a cikin shirin domin tallafawa marasa ƙarfi da kuma cicciba masu sana'o'i matasa kamar Fatima su faɗaɗa kasuwancinsu. Abdullahi Mustapha, labaran NTA.
To jama'a, labaran suna zuwa muku ne daga nan gidan talabijin na NTA Kano. Labaran za su ci gaba bayan wannan.
Turka shi, Hausawa kan ce gani ya korji. Wannan shine Zaitun Tower Hotel da ke ƙwaryar birnin Kano, inda muke da kulawa da bakinmu wajen samar muku da kayayyakin more rayuwa na zamani domin walwala da jin daɗin rayuwarku a tare da mu. A Zaitun Tower Hotel mun tajar muku da isassun ɗakunan kwana daidai da bukatunku, waɗanda suka haɗar da basic single, standard, classic, deluxe da kuma precious executive a turanci. Saura da me, muna da ƙwararrun ma'aikata da kan dafa abinci a restaurant ɗinmu na sassan duniya kala daban-daban. Sannan akwai room service order ga reception desk namu domin isar muku da abin da kuke bukata. Akwai mu da gurin wanki wato laundry da wajen kula da ababen hawanku daga security unit na Zaitun Tower Hotel. Za ku same mu akan titin Zangero daura da ofishin zaɓe na INEC da ke birnin Kano. Zaitun Tower Hotel muna da fitattu kuma ƙwararrun ma'aikata domin kulawa da walwalar bakinmu. Domin ƙarin bayani, ku tuntuɓi waɗannan lambobin waya da kuke gani a akwatin talabijin ɗinku. Sai kun zo.
To barkamu da dawowa. A wani bangare na kokarin karfafa haɗin kai, tallafawa juna da kuma karfafawa tsakanin al'ummar 'yan sanda, ƙungiyar mata jami'ar 'yan sanda reshen jihar Kano ta gudanar da bikin ranar mata ta duniya na shekara ta 2026, inda ta raba kayayyakin tallafi ga zaurawan jami'an 'yan sanda da suka rasu yayin aiki. Taron, wanda aka gudanar ƙarƙashin taken ba da kyauta domin samun alheri, ya kuma zama wata dama ta ƙarfafa haɗin kai da tallafawa juna a tsakanin mambobin ƙungiyar. Elizabeth Lalamido na da ci gaban wannan rahoto.
Shirin, wanda kungiyar matan jami'an 'yan sanda kowa reshen jihar Kano ta shirya, ya haɗa mata daga kungiyoyi daban-daban masu alaka da rundunar 'yan sanda, inda aka jaddada mahimmancin haɗin kai, goyon bayan juna da ɗaukar nauyi tare a tsakanin mata. Da take jawabi ga mahalarta taron, shugaban kowa reshen jihar Kano Hadiza Abubakar Bakori ta bayyana juriyar mata wajen tallafawa mazajensu, tarbiyyar 'ya'yansu da kuma bayar da gudumawa mai ma'ana ga ci gaban ƙasa.
Muna alfahari da ƙoƙarinmu da muke a gidajen mazajenmu, a wurin ayyukanmu, irin gudunmawa da muke bayarwa a communities ɗinmu da duniya baki ɗaya.
Hakan nan, mai ba gwamna shawara ta musamman kan tsaron al'umma ta jaddada buƙatar ci gaba da karfafawa da tallafawa juna a tsakanin mata, musamman a cikin iyalan 'yan sanda. An kammala taron ne da rabon kayayyakin jin kai na musamman ga matan jami'an 'yan sanda da suka rasu da kuma mambobin kungiyar. Elizabeth Lalamido, labaran NTA.
To sai kuma bangaren rahotannin wasannin namu na yau.
Ahmad Musa ya bawa Pilas nasara a wasan Kano Derby. Wasan Teresa na mutum 250 za su fafata a gasar Oslo. Ƙungiyar mata ta Najeriya a tseren 4x400 meters ta samu gurbin shigar gasar World Relays. cire 'yan wasa 23 bayan wata gagarumar fada a Brazil.
To sai kuma hasashe da ne zai kasance a gobe a nan birnin Kano da masu manyan birane a ƙasar nan. Sai kuma sakon masana na yau. Ka rufe baki da hanci lokacin tari ko atishawa domin hana yaduwar cututtuka da suka shafi numfashi. To jama'a, iyakacin abin da ya sauka kenan, a huta lafiya.
Thank you for joining us on Nta Kano News. I am Masood Aliyu. Maintaining personal and environmental hygiene, including regular hand washing, has been identified as a key measure in preventing the spread of Lassa fever. Director General of the Kano State Center for Disease Control, Professor Muhammad Adamu Abbas, disclosed this in an exclusive interview with NTA, noting that the state government has intensified disease surveillance across Kano. He also urged healthcare workers to strictly observe safety protocols and use protective gear when attending to patients. Aisha Ubali reports.
In February, the Kano State Center for Disease Control confirmed new cases of Lassa fever in the state. Contact tracing identified 6 individuals who were placed in isolation. Tragically, a foreign healthcare worker died from the disease, while a 17-year-old boy also lost his life after contracting the virus. Health professionals say contact tracing is still ongoing to identify and monitor anyone who may have been exposed. Director General, Kano State Center for Disease Control, Professor Muhammad Adamu Abbas says the center, the only state-owned disease control facility in the country, has stepped up public sensitization since it began operations last year. He notes that frontline health workers remain particularly vulnerable and more strictly adhere to safety guidelines and professional protocols while carrying out their duties.
By and large, Kano had a total of 6 Lassa cases with 2 deaths. But interestingly, the cases affected a number of healthcare workers, which put to us the need to sensitize not only the public but also our healthcare providers on them to observe what we call infection prevention and control measures.
Meanwhile, the state government says it is intensifying waste management efforts. Residents are being urged to improve waste disposal habits and adopt safer food handling and storage practices to reduce the risk of disease transmission.
What we advise is for people to take care of their own refuse. Let their own refuse be in a covered container so that whatever they have, these rats will not come and scavenge.
With emergency call line now in place, the Kano State Center for Disease Control is encouraging residents to promptly report any suspected case as part of efforts to safeguard public health. In Kano, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
The All Progressives Congress, APC, in Kano State has urged its members and supporters to strengthen unity and intensify grassroots mobilization ahead of the 2027 general elections. Speaking at a conference at the NUJ Secretariat in Kano, Dr. Mohammed Musa Zango said the call follows the successful conduct of the Kano APC Congress, which produced new party executives. The reports. Dr. Zango congratulated the newly elected State Executive Committee led by Umar Haruna Dogwa, expressing confidence that their experience and dedication will further strengthen the party structure in the state.
The conduct of the Congress was a clear demonstration of the maturity, the discipline, and the positive democratic spirit that our party is known for. Put your hands together for our great party.
He also commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf for their leadership and commitment to democratic development.
The task before us as members of APC is enormous, but it's a task that must be performed. The year 2027 is close by, is gradually approaching, and it is our collective responsibility to work assiduously to deliver Kano State and federal government for APC.
He urged Nigerians to support the renewed hope agenda of the EPC-led federal government, noting that ongoing reforms are aimed at strengthening national security, promoting economic growth, and ensuring sustainable development despite temporary challenges in Kano. Beyond providing meals for the less privileged, the Kano State government's Ramadan feeding program is also stimulating local economic activity. This is according to a monitoring committee set up by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf during an inspection of vendors' kitchens across the state. Abdullah Mustafa reports. Aliyu, NTA News.
The 2026 Ramadan feeding program, launched by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf, aims to provide fast-breaking meals to 115,000 people daily throughout the holy month. Fatima Suleiman is among the 19 food vendors engaged for the exercise. She employed 10 assistants who help her prepare 1,000 meal rations daily. In addition, 2 larger vendors have each hired about 300 workers to support the operation. Each of them produces 25,000 rations of meals daily. To ensure effective service delivery, the monitoring committee appointed by the governor visited the feeding centers to assess the process with particular attention to hygiene standards as well as the quality and quantity of food being served.
Always ready to change, to learn, to add to what they know, and that is beautiful.
Members of the committee expressed satisfaction with the program, noting that it has also boosted patronage for sellers of raw food and other cooking ingredients, thereby stimulating the state's economy.
A lot of entrepreneurs are benefiting, are engaged to this program. Ranges from the rice sellers, firewood sellers, tomato sellers, cooking oil, spices. A lot of entrepreneurs are engaged in this exercise by injecting the money from the treasury of Kano State government.
More than 4 billion naira has been injected into the program by Kano State government to support the less privileged and help entrepreneurs like Fatima expand their businesses. In Kano, Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
You are watching the news on Nta Kano. There will be more reports after this time out. Stay with us.
I have a lovely family, one big family who are willing to fix me when I'm broken, willing to help me clean my stains, willing to right my wrongs, willing to help me stay. Yes, I wish I have a lovely family, one big family. Willing to scold me when I'm failing, willing to help me win trophies, willing to feel my pains, willing to dry my tears. She know be fighting, no, not good thing I know. trophies, willing to feel my pains, willing to dry my tears.
True love story.
Thanks for being there. As part of efforts to strengthen unity, empowerment and support within the police community, the Police Officers' Wives Association POA Kano State Chapter marked the 2026 International Women's Day by distributing welfare packages to widows of fallen police officers. The event, held under the theme Give to Gain, also served as a platform to encourage solidarity and mutual support among members of the association. Elizabeth Ilalamido has the reports.
The program, organized by the Police Officers' Wives Association, POA, Kano State Chapter, brought together women from various police-related associations, underscoring the values of unity, solidarity, and shared responsibility among women. Addressing participants, the chairperson of POA Kano Chapter, Hadiza Abubakar Bakuri, highlighted women's resilience in supporting their spouses, nurturing their children, and making meaningful contributions to national development.
When we give support, we gain unity. We give kindness and we gain strength.
Also speaking at the event, the special advisor to the governor on community policing emphasized the need for sustained encouragement and mutual support among women, particularly within the police family.
Every woman will be given full and continued contribution to nation development.
The event concluded with the distribution of special welfare packages to the wives of fallen police officers and members of the association. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamido, NT News.
Our sports correspondent is standing by with happenings in the world of sports.
Ahmad Musa wins Kano Derby for Pillars. $250 players to compete in Osu tourney. Nigerians women 4x400 meter team qualifies for world relays. The 3 players sent off after mass brawl in Brazil.
And next is weather forecast for tomorrow in Kano and some selected cities. And to wrap up this segment, here is a reminder. Cover your mouth and nose when coughing or sneezing to prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.